speaking to you as a student representative from the University of Michigan, Dearborn. And one of my main concerns is the continual increase of tuition. For example, did you guys know that roughly 75% of our tuition is roughly 75% from our tuition and fee assessments is broken down to registration fees and tech fees. And in the year 2015, if that continues to increase, we will be labeled a private institution. So I think we really have to re-examine this and try to see how we can find ways to cap tuition rates and cut wasteful spending as well, like I mentioned previously.
The next question is to Mr. Hijazi. What differentiates your party's platform from your opponents?
Well, first and foremost, I wouldn't call ourselves a party. We're the USA slate. And the reason why I say slate is because we're a coalition government. We have people from all over working with us, and we don't vote on party lines. For example, this year we had 5 freshmen come into student government, and these 5 freshmen were unbiased, and they came in at the peak of all the drama. And these 5 freshmen did more work than any maize and blue senator during the entire year. And coincidentally, now 4 out of these 5 freshmen are running with the university student advocates. The other one is running as an independent. So I think that when people know what's going on, they see who's right and who's wrong, and they know what people's true intentions are.
Rebuttal, Ms. Chaudhary.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor. I'd just like to say that you just said that, these 5 senators that you speak of, I think really highly of them, and they do work really hard. For you to say that the Maize and Blue Senate has not done anything is completely irrelevant. Like, that doesn't make sense, because the Maize and Blue senators were the ones at the SAM conferences. When they were begging us for delegates, we were the ones who were there. President and the vice president were never there, never present at these conferences at a state level. We were present at a state level. So for you to say that we never did anything is completely irrelevant. Last week, Munir was at the rally speaking on behalf of our university. So, like I said, we were there when our student government needed us, and that's all I have to say. I yield.
The next question is to Mr. Berry. Why are you qualified to be student government president?
I'm glad you asked that question. My leadership skills date back to my childhood. I was always captain of my football teams through middle and high school. I went on to play college football for 1 semester. I walked on at Central. I now coach football at Dearborn High, along with track. I coach football and track at Dearborn High School. I'm the president of 2 organizations here on campus. I'm the chairman of the Rules and Ethics Committee within student government. My leadership skills are based around my charisma and my passion to be a leader. I think leadership maintains that you lead by example. Thus, the reason why I always say that actions manifest credibility. I can sit here and tell you what I'm going to do, and you're just going to have your own opinion on whether or not that's going to go through. But if I give you a historical background on what I've already done, you're more likely to believe me. Based on that assumption, I think that my leadership skills make me qualified for president. Just to clear up a quick misconception, Sammer was at the rally on last week. I was not able to go. I had work, so just to clear that up. I yield.
Rebuttal to Mr. Al-Nabalsi.
I actually do ask for that historical background that was just spoken about. I've been in student government since I was a freshman. As soon as I walked onto this campus, I joined student government. I can give you a list of the organizations that I've been a part of. I can give you a list of the organizations that I've been a part of in high school. I can give you a list of the sports teams that I've been a part of in high school. But what's relevant to becoming president of student government is your experience in student government. I mean, I was speaker twice. I facilitated the meetings. Every other meeting when the president wasn't chairing the meeting, I would chair the meeting. When I wasn't speaker, I was senator. I've worked on a variety of things, and historically, you can look at and do your homework. You can look on the websites. You can look at the accomplishments that the Maize and Blue Party has done. Just vote maizeandblue.com, or the student government website should have the accomplishments up there. And yeah, I've been involved for a long time. The first meeting, and I'm not sure who's here who's been at that first meeting that I was petitioned in, but I've been in here since we used to stay in these rooms until past midnight, till we used to get charged because we stayed in this room, because we stayed in these rooms, till we used to get kicked out by campus safety. People walked around with bodyguards. People walked around with all these things. If you think this is politics, go back 2-3 years in the past, and that's when some real stuff happened. And I've been involved ever since. I've seen it all. I have what it takes to lead this organization. I have what it takes to bring this organization to the next level. Thank you.
The next question is to Mr. Al-Nabalsi. How much should tuition increase in the 2010-2011 year?
Well, that's a very, very complicated question because it deals with how much is state funds and how much the university is willing to appropriate to each student. The real focus of this question is how can we rally and try and speak to our higher education legislators and those that make these decisions to hold education as a higher priority than everything else. Obviously, if the state cuts their funding, I agree with the chancellor. We should maintain our academic excellence, and we should, and they have no choice but to raise our tuition. So the question is really, how are we going to bring education to a higher priority to the state over construction, over things like safety? Education should be right next to it, and education should be something that these legislators hold as a priority, so they can appropriate their monies a lot more equally than is currently being appropriated. Thank you.
Rebuttal to Mr. Berry.
Well, I'm looking at the actual breakdown of the tuition fee assessment from last year onto this year. Last year, it was $1 million cheaper. Tuition, registration fees and technology fees increase with the rate of tuition. Now, I believe that the inflation rate is almost 3%. The increase in tuition will be about approximately 8%. I think that is unheard of and unprecedented in terms of increasing tuition. Now, as my candidate of Samara mentioned earlier, that by 2015, we will be a private institution when 80% of the general fund and expenditures come from tuition. Right now, it's at about 71%. In the past, in 2001, it was at about 65. At the rate we're going at right now, by 2015, we'll become a private institution. So in terms of how much should you increase tuition, that depends on, what you plan on doing with the campus. I'm sure students, I'm sure they mind that you're going to increase tuition, but if you don't have anything to, to show for it, then it's just going to piss the students' health even more, quite frankly. But in regard to providing you with my resume, I'd be more than happy to. You can talk to Coach Bridges and Coach Mifsud, who provided me my paycheck stub from the Dearborn Public School District. But tuition is very complicated in terms of when you ask how much should it go up. That depends on how much money you need to maintain the campus security, campus education, and the technology around campus. So it's kind of hard for me to just give you a general number. I yield.
The next question is to Mr. Hijazi. What is the role of the student government vice president?
I think the problem with the vice presidential position in the past is that it's not really specified what it is to do. And to me, that kind of works in my benefit because I can assess what my strong points are and I can bring that to the table. And I could tell you that what I'm capable of doing is being dedicated. When I was not confirmed on the e-board, I was at every single student government meeting. From May all the way till now, I have not missed one student government meeting, and I'm willing to do that again. On the other hand, my opponent, Marzia, has racked up quite a absence. She's missed over 4 meetings, I can give you the dates if you need the dates, but my only problem with that is, my only concern was that with that is, if you're